D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So, I saw Jojo Rabbit, and if you're watching this, you know it's my review. So, I just want to first start off by saying that I did a trailer reaction to this, and when the trailer dropped, and I thought that when I saw the trailer that this movie looked problematic. And it just looked like they weren't like being sympathetic to a real thing that went on and everything. And a lot of people got angry about it and posted some comments and everything and got very snowflakey about it. It's so funny, like people that probably enjoyed this movie before they saw it or get very snowflakey when you don't agree with them. So I went to the movie theater and I sat down. I got my popcorn and my soda and my candies and everything because I love the movie theater and everything, and I love the whole experience. And I went with an open mind because I was like, even though I think this is problematic, I have every right to change my mind and watch this movie and at the end of the day be all like, this movie is good. But so I sat down, movie started, and went and watched the movie and everything. Laughed a couple of times, not the whole movie and everything, but laughed a couple times. And then at the end of the movie, I got up and left and everything. I have to say, this movie is not bad, but it's not good either. It's very mediocre in my opinion, and it's not that great. So now real quick, if you're one of these people that's gonna get all like crybaby about this, turn this off right now, because if you love this movie before you've even seen it, because it goes wide release this upcoming weekend. But if you're gonna be a crybaby about it, just don't even watch this, because you'll probably be all like, you're being sensitive, and I'm not. I have some good points that I'm going to relate to you, but not all of it's bad. You're just thinking it's all bad because I said it's not a good movie. It's just, and I said it's a mediocre movie. But anyway, okay, just listen, okay? Now, I want to talk about the characters and the acting in this movie first. Now, I have to say, my favorite character / the best actor in this movie is by far Scarlett Johansson's Rosie. By the way, this is a spoiler review, so if you get all up, so I'm going to be revealing some stuff, especially what happens to her character. So now she plays Jojo's mother, who is single, and she's an anti-Nazi. She's like a freedom fighter or whatever, and all this stuff. And Scarlett Johansson does a great job, and she at the end of towards the end of the movie, when you find out that she's been killed and she's been hung, I really felt bad because she was a woman trying to get through this hard time, and she's all like basically trying to keep a positive attitude on the fact that the war's almost over, and then she gets caught and killed, and it's super sad. But Scarlett Johansson, if she gets nominated for this role, I wouldn't be surprised. She does such a good job, and if she does get nominated, she deserves it. And it also has to go for Mackenzie. I don't know how to say her first name. It's Thomason. I think it's Thomason. Thomason Mackenzie. Yes, that's what it is. And she plays Elsa, which is the Jewish girl that's in Jojo's attic. And Thomason Mackenzie does a great job also. If she is nominated also, I would totally be like, that is deserved. She does a good job, and so does Scarlett Johansson. Everybody else in this movie does a fine job, but not as good as those two. Those two do the best, in my opinion. So the next I want to talk about is I'll talk about all the Nazi characters all together, because I kind of found a little bit problematic there. But as far as Jojo's character, Jojo was my least favorite character, and this is why. I did not feel sorry for Jojo, except for when he found his mother dead, and she was hanging, and you saw her shoes and everything. Other than that, Jojo was kind of a douche. I mean, he lies to Elsa's character at the beginning of the movie, and then he lies to her at the end of the movie, and it's also she can be his girlfriend, and I'm all like, this is crazy insane. Like, this little boy is such a douchebag little 10-year-old. And I don't feel bad for him, except for when his mom died and he found her. I did feel bad. I did get kind of choked up. Okay, so now moving on to Taika Waititi's role as Hitler. Taika Waititi had to play this role, and he said in an interview with the Variety or Vanity Fair, one of those things, he said that he had to play this character because nobody else would. And I can see why. I mean, he makes Hitler seem relatable, and that's a problem in my opinion. I understand that this is satire and it's a comedy and everything, but to make a vomitous human being like Hitler seem relatable is just ridiculous to me, and I don't see, I mean, some of his lines I did laugh at because they were genuinely funny, but at the same time I just go, I don't want to be like laughing along with Hitler. And I know a lot of people, a lot of people mention like the producers and everything. The producers, I'll mention this later, but it was a different time, plus it was written by two Jews. So it's totally different. And I think that it was just problematic, in my opinion, to make him seem relatable. So getting on to, okay, so in all honesty, I don't think that comedy should really have any boundaries and should be perceived for the sake of hilarity. It should be perceived for the sake of hilarity. However, that doesn't change the fact that this backdrop is more personal for some than others. I mean, after all, those who didn't have family members go through those, like, horrifying times have no clue how awful it was, myself included. And it's only through the recollection and memory of old people who lived through those times that knows truly the struggle that they went through. But you can also get a sense of it a bit by reading pages of history. And following this, the film's backdrop doesn't seem nearly as funny when you consider how sensitive it is for the people who suffered through it. I also felt that the movie really didn't dive into the real issues. I mean, even if you enjoyed the film, I think that it was just, they didn't fully showcase Germany's horrific past, and it was likely you likely knew what was going on, and I think that the film relied on your knowledge of history to shape out that backdrop that I talked about before. And however, that doesn't mean everybody is well versed in history. And I mean that a fair bit of the audience probably didn't realize that the times of World War II were way more awful than the film portrayed them to be. And for this reason, I can see why some people might be offended thinking Jojo Rabbit tried to be more funny than educational in the places where it needed to be. For instance, the Nazis in the movie are all portrayed in a comedic manner. And Nazis in this movie were very one-dimensional, and in that they were portrayed as being comedic at all times. And this makes them seem like much less of a threat than they were. I mean, from the perception of some people, it might seem as if Jojo and his family were just experiencing a run of bad luck rather than the Nazis committing horrific acts. Now, had the film made them out to be brutal to a certain extent rather than being funny almost the whole time, then perhaps this point wouldn't have been so striking. I mean, and for instance, my favorite scene in the movie is when the Gestapo come to Jojo's house to go through all of his stuff. It's well acted and everything, but it's just way more comedic than I think that it should have been. I mean, it was kind of scary, but not really, because they did the Heil Hitlers and everything, and I just felt like for instance, that was a time that could have been brought you into the realism of that time period. So, in conclusion, the fact of the matter is that there are many people today who look for things to be offended by, rather than trying to understand their meaning. Had Jojo Rabbit been released about a decade ago, then there simply wouldn't have been much controversy to begin with. However, one must consider the audience these days before releasing a movie, and for this reason perhaps, Jojo Rabbit's angle wasn't the best one to showcase. Offended people do bring up good points on occasion, and some of these issues of the film, such as I've just mentioned, could have been handled better than they were. And I think that this movie is just mediocre. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't that great. I mean, I saw one person said it was their favorite movie of the year, and I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. This was your favorite movie of the year? I mean, kudos to you, but I mean, whatever. It's subjective, I guess. So listen, if you are super angry about my review of this, fine, I'm sensitive, I'm the snowflake, whatever. But this is my opinion, and I think I brought up some good, decent points at least, and everything. And yeah, so go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below, even the angry ones. I can take it, I promise. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, but I have a feeling most of you are not going to. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will see you guys on the next movie review. Bye! Hey nerds, if you like this video, go ahead and click that geek what icon and subscribe. And if you like this video, join me every Thursday where you can check out ranks and reviews, videos just like this.